make a couple of little Yunomis, if you know that Japanese word for a teacup. So now, this is the same thing as making a bowl, where I'm actually starting off with a foot right from the very beginning, as opposed to straight down that you would use to make a cylinder. So now I'm opening with my right thumb and keeping it centered at the same time. And I work the bottom over several times, because a lot of times you get bottom cracks when you throw off the hump, because it's not compressed well enough. So I'm going over it 2 times. Now I'm going to pull, I'm going to save my foot, and I'm going to pull from here. Yeah, if you don't leave your foot there, then you'll end up with dumping that cylinder. I haven't used a clay like this in a long time. It's real gritty. How does it work? The disc fire is white, and it very little loss as far as firing. Loss? Some? No. No, that's good. Now some people like these throw-in rings, and some people don't. I actually don't like them because sometimes I do some brush work, and if you do brush work over a rough bump like that, it's not going to be very good brush work. So I like them pretty slick. Same with carving. And I also like this type of lip. It's called an English drinking lip. I don't know if y'all ever do that or not, but it's much easier to drink out of something like this than that. That's actually the worst kind of cup to make right there as far as drinking is concerned.
What makes it English, Rick?
I guess the English started it. I don't know. It's the only thing I could think of. I almost lost my foot on it. So I just want to shake it up a little bit so it's not quite so tight. Then I make a little bit of an undercut with this. And a lot of people don't leave enough clay in the bottom of the cup. I think it goes back to that same thing where you want to get all you can, out of that piece of clay, and you don't leave enough for a foot. But actually, a nice deep foot. This isn't much of a foot, but it's enough. But I actually throw these with maybe almost like close to an inch of clay at the bottom, so I can really get a nice thick foot. I'll try another one. Tell me if my head starts going around. Do y'all ever do that?
No,
Seesaw.
It's like you're getting drunk.
I don't know how people can do that.
Try to get the water out so we don't melt the bottom out of it. Jerked away. I also like this kind of surface where you just go up the wall pretty fast with a rib and you get some nice little twists and turns in there.
And that's probably, what, about half a pound of clay that you used?
Probably something like that. You know, I make wires just out of kind of a thin wire with washers on the end. I finally figured that out after 45 years. Is that these things really hurt your hands, you know? Once you commit to this thing and you start cutting the pot off, you gotta keep going, and it just cuts your hand. So, I mean, I'm just using a kind of a macrame twine. You remember that stuff people used to make macrame stuff? It's kind of a wax twine, but it's about this thin. Man, it doesn't hurt your hands. It's so cool. Did I cut it? I think I did.